Well, good morning, team. In fact, it's an hour earlier here on the Gold Coast now because our people in the US on the East Coast have been hit by daylight saving. So we're not too late over there. We're coming an hour earlier here. So I don't know if our resident people, there's Eliza, welcome. Look, Tommy G, Middle-Aged Millennial, here on the beautiful Gold Coast, as usual, as most of the time at least. And we've got a session today with the lovely and hopefully in the house Foody Murphy, who's going to be joining us shortly. We're going to be probably continuing that theme today of longevity. We kind of kicked it off with Peter Rouse yesterday, who is our expert on a number of fronts, from physiology to corrective measures to take with your physiology to things that you can do to prolong leading a longer and healthier life physically on the planet. So a lot of the eat, move, sleep, the basic fundamentals, and there are 7. We won't go into the rest of them. They tend to get a little more woo-woo, but there are, they are the core for you to physically give yourself the best opportunity to live a longer, healthier life on the planet. What do you know? It doesn't involve a whole lot of pharmaceuticals, and it doesn't require, hopefully, going to the doc, because that's what we're trying to avoid. It actually requires for you to make better choices and to get some knowledge that is going to help you with what it is that you need to do. So we sort of went through some low-hanging fruit, and I can see Anne's actually joining there now. Some low-hanging fruit and some simple things you can start to do. We talked about some of the sexy stuff you can do as well around things like, extending your telomeres using supplements like TA65, and I think there's TAM818. Isogenics have isogenesis as well, which is probably the most affordable out of a lot. I've been taking that one actually for about 7 years. We're going to bring Anne on and see what is it we can do with food. Just so you get a heads up warning, Anne. So hopefully we don't catch you off balance, that we're looking at what we can do with food that is actually going to support us to live longer, healthier life, and some of the things that perhaps the industry has done where we could actually be leading a shorter life if we're not careful, that work against us with a lot of the industrial effects that food undergoes when it goes through the industrial process. So let's bring on Anne Murphy. And you'll notice, Anne, I've noticed that the wallpaper here, I've gone very veggie-like. We're going to add her in. Bring on Anne, the Foody Murphy. And we are connecting. Yoo-hoo!
Yeah. Look at
Hey.
you. You're all like tropical and flowers and what's that?
You like
Fruits and yeah, I do. You got a
thought you
little
liked it.
cacti. You got some cacti there. Wow.
Cacti, yeah, we got it all
Nice.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can do it on your
Dandelions.
side too, actually.
You got
If
some
wanna do it on your side.
dandelions in
We
there.
got some dandelions. We got all the good stuff, Anne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to go pick dandelions and eat dandelions.
Oh, well, they're digital dandelions. I don't know how they're going to go.
Yeah,
for you,
I won't
but,
be able to pick them and eat them.
No, probably not.
A couple
But,
months
at least
I
we can
will
think
out
about
there
it.
though. Couple months I'll be
Oh.
able to out there though.
Oh, wow, one day I'll get to come and see what you got in that kitchen.
Yeah.
We'll have to have a little foodie session in the kitchen and look out.
Yeah, we need to do that. I was thinking we need to do that, but we need to do it earlier because I don't want to do it now. Like the kitchen's cleaned
Well, not
up.
the dark. No, I don't want to take the torch out and look for maybe nightshades. I don't know why they call them nightshades, by the way. Do you know why they call them nightshades?
Yes, I answered that question. I answered that
didn't see
question.
it.
You didn't read the comments.
Oh my God, I was busy producing at the same time as I was trying to listen.
Okay,
Damn,
they're
I
called
missed that one.
nightshades.
Where are they?
So they're called nightshades because they do their growing at night. They don't grow in the day from the sun. They grow at
Get
night.
out.
Tomato.
Yeah.
Tomato.
Yeah.
And Shivers and I have
Peppers.
already had this debate over
Yeah.
potato.
Potatoes. Tomatoes.
In the US, tomato over here.
Okay.
But here it's potato.
I say
And
potato.
over where you are, it's potato. So it's like,
yeah.
something
Yeah.
broke.
Eggplant.
Yeah.
Eggplants are nightshades. Yeah.
Right.
So they do their growing at night. And you had asked on that live stream, like, well, are they good for you? Well, okay, so yeah, they have a lot of good nutritional value for some people.
For some people, because that's what people are saying. They're not necessarily good.
You need to see what you're sensitive to and what you're not.
Right.
They do have a higher rate of incidence of being inflammatory for people. So,
Right.
so it's, and like Peter was saying, I think he had said that eggplant was one that bothers him, that he knows he's sensitive to. Yeah. So again, that's where you're learning, what works for you and what doesn't.
Right.
But yeah, nightshades are a common factor for inflammation. So.
Okay. Well, gee, I mean, we've just dived into it right now, right? So let's sort of continue with this one a little. So it can create inflammation.
I just got to say, I'm liking your Australian background with the
like
flowers. I need flowers. How come I can't have flowers and dandelions and succulents?
There we go. Yeah. So you can do it on Facebook. On your, you can choose the little magic wand, not the ones that they put up, but there's a little magic wand down to the right or the left.
Oh, I'll have to play with that sometime.
And you play with that. Yeah.
I'll have to play with that sometime. Okay, so go ahead. What were you saying?
So the nightshade, so it will cause inflammation for some, but it can also be good for some people. Right?
Yeah.
What's some of the good news?
They can have a lot of really, good compounds. They have. My dog's like looking at me like, what are you doing?
Bring him on. Bring him on.
It's like, I mean, they, nutritionally, they're nutritionally dense, dense foods. They can, so it's as anything, learning what works for you and what doesn't, learning how to listen to your body and see, how do I feel after I eat this? And that's one of the things, when I'm working with people, like that's one of the first things we do is like, we find out where I have a journaling system that it lets them see where their emotional eating is and where foods that aren't agreeing with them, and then they can figure it out. And then, cause it's always in flux, that can change.
Yeah.
It can, I mean, it can change from day to day. Your microbiome can change from day to day, depending on a lot of factors. So, that way you get to like, there are sometimes I'll be eating something like, remember we were talking about spinach a couple weeks ago. I used to always eat spinach, and it was funny because the last it was probably 7 or 8 months, and here, like, look, like this is what I do. And like, I didn't even catch it from me for a while. But I was like, I found myself like kind of resisting spinach. And when I ate it, being like, oh, like, I don't like the taste of this, which I always liked it, And then one day I made salad and it was mainly spinach. And I was like, I can't even eat this. And then afterwards, I felt like really like I don't really have much energy. And after you eat, when that happens, that's a sign that it's not working for you. So then I tried it again, and the same thing happened. And I'm like, you know what? My body's been telling me for a while now, like, with the kind of like, I don't really want that. It's not working for me right now. And that's okay.
Interesting. Isn't it funny how we do change as well, right? And I think some of that is kind of not only, I mean, you've got two things you're supporting. One is your own DNA, having about 25,000 genes, about 20% of them you've loaded, like software packages, you're expressing, let's say. And then you've got all of the DNA sitting in your gut around your biome, and you've got to feed those little fellas, and that takes you into millions of different DNA.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, what you do on a daily basis can affect what's going on in your gut. I was just reading the whole thing, like, oh my gosh, it was talking about the neurons and the I should have saved it. I should have like printed it out, but it was talking about how there's more like neurons and serotonin reuptake, serotonin production. What else was it talking about? Actually, like pain receptors, like feeling receptors in the gut than through the whole brain and central nervous system.
Huh. Wow.
You know,
okay.
And it's subject to change. You know, it can be your frame of mind. It can be foods that you ate that affect it. And it can change from day to day, you know?
Yeah.
So really learning to listen to your body, you know, is really important because there's a lot of benefit to it because then you know. And that's why a lot of times, like I'll kind of like, this is why like I don't I don't food prep as much as I used to because my kids aren't around all the time, and a lot of times it's like, what do I want? And I might have had something in mind, and I'll like kind of like, what do I really want to eat today? And it's like, it's not what I was planning, you know?
Right. Yeah, okay. I tell you what, can you give me 1 minute? I'm going to give my cat because it's like glary out here, and I don't want to have to put on my sunglasses. Okay. But I'm on Bluetooth now too. How's the sound, by the way?
It sounds good. You got your Bluetooth on.
See this? Woo.
Yeah.
Bit of Bose action going on. So I usually use the sport ones, but now to give me some more freedom, so I got no more cables.
I wonder if I could use my Bluetooth on here. I don't even know.
Oh, there we go.
Jeannie.
Look at that. Yeah. Sponsored
by.
There you go. So in fact, I've got both their things on.
There you go.
They just changed their name to Vivo, VYVO, because like Apple now, they've got the same company producing their stuff, right? One of these babies. They got some great stuff. Sorry, quick ad, Ann. So there's a new unit they've got coming out, which is going to be super slimline. I've just ordered it, and you can go into water as well. So the next one is like submergible, like the Aura Ring. I'm not going to give you the finger. I'm not giving you the finger, Ann. The Aura Ring here as well. And it goes for like now 10 days, the new one. And 30 days, it'll still collect data as well, right? Even if it's not connecting to your Bluetooth. So, wow, we've got some great stuff happening there with what's now Vivo, used to be Well Global Network. So formerly.
Cool.
Anyway, that was a quick ad.
Elise is saying the same for our family. It's hard to do heavy meal prep because taste changes throughout the week. Yeah, like there are times where it's like, okay, it's totally different than what I thought I would want or what I was planning, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, but, you know, I do teach people how to meal prep because it's an important thing to be able to do if you're going to transition into eating real food, which your original question, let's back, was what can we do, especially with the food industry and all the crap that's in the food that's going to help us be healthy and maintain a longer life, right? Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Okay. A couple of sentences and we can just be done.
Right.
Don't buy food. Manufacturers don't belong in the same sentence. Food and manufacturing don't belong in the same sentence. Food should not be manufactured. It should be grown, and you should eat it as it came from the earth or from the animal. Organic, if it's you know animal protein, grass-fed, pastured, you know, and boom, that's it. We're done.
There we go. We're done. This one was a short episode, but yeah, I mean, it is simple, right?
You know what? It's simple, but it's not easy. And there's so much confusion out there. And the manufacturers really, you know, there's a whole science between advertising and the chemicals that they use in their food. Hey, Diane.
Hey, Diane.
They're actually, they produce cravings. They make you want more. They affect, you know, your satiation signals. They can disrupt and destroy your gut, you know. So there's a whole science behind this food manufacturing, and you really want to stay away from it because your body doesn't know your body doesn't know what to do with something that is not in the state that it came from in nature. Bottom line, your body is like, it doesn't know what to do with it. So,
yeah, but I'll tell you what, the industry or the factories, you know, of food, right? And we don't need the factory. They're not adding good stuff to it. What they're going to add is a process that's going to make them more money.
Yeah.
They're acting in their own interests.
Yeah.
Not on the planet's most of the time.
Yep.
Most of the time. There are some really good companies out there, more of them emerging. But what's interesting is that, you know, some of the things I've heard around what they put in, apparently phosphate something. Anything that's like a phosphate, something phosphate, is it, do you know much about that?
Here's the thing. I'm trying, I don't want to just go off.
Careful. I just heard I heard it on the Greenfield episode.
Yeah, and you know what? There's not. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch that. But yeah, like they use all kinds of stuff. Like, okay, so there are, and this is just so there are over 80,000 chemicals in use that they've been approved for use, and about like 78,000 of them are in use now.
Since World War II or something.
Yeah.
50 or 50,000. Since World War II. Since industrialization of food and everything else began.
Exactly. Yeah. And here's the problem. So in most of the European nation, it has to accompany, and this goes for food, this goes for personal care products, cleaning products. So a company needs to prove that the chemicals are safe. Okay?
Right.
They need to prove. In America, they don't have to. The individual that thinks they got sick from something has to prove that it's not safe. And they've made it basically impossible.
Holy shit.
And as far as things have to go to be reviewed, I think there was only like, I'm trying to remember from my environmental toxins course, because we had a whole year-long study of all this. I think there are only 6 that have been deemed unsafe.
Go figure.
You know, generally recognized as safe. Yeah, and the realization is like, it's not recognized as anything. It's a bullshit. You know, it's bullshit.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
these things aren't about making you live a healthier, longer life.
No, they're about
once again, there's great companies out there.
Yeah,
you know,
but the very
new ones
few.
more emerging. Yeah, but
and most of them are not there yet. You know.
Right.
So, and a company's bottom line is what? Dollars. Hey, Fawn. So, you know, you have this whole dynamic going on where companies tell you that this is a food and you need this product. Right. And because of the way marketing is done, I mean, there's a whole science, they're psychologically, they know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah. And you're going to buy it, and then you get hooked on the chemicals of it, and
that's it.
It's a whole. It's good to see you again today, Fawn. I had a great conversation with Fawn today.
Oh, okay.
And the other day too. I don't know. Someday this weekend we had a good conversation. So, but yeah, fifth pillaring.
Oh, sweet, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for those that don't know, fifth pillaring. It's part of a journey.
Yeah, it's part of. So our mentors, Brian and Carrie, their whole system of mindset work, and really getting to know yourself and everything. Yeah, so
that's it. All about spiritualization.
Yep.
Okay.
So like, you know, if you want to live longer,
live cleaner.
Yeah, get to know your organic farmers. Get to know your organic farmers. And
build your own farm. Get those communal farms going in some communities too.
Yes.
Right, in suburbs.
Yes.
Do you see any of those? Are you part of any of those, or what's happening in that
CSA.
space?
So CSA's. I was in a CSA. This past year was the first year in, I guess 18 years that I wasn't in one, because so the first one I was in that one for quite a few years, and then it shut down. And then that farm, actually, that was a friend of mine's farm, and they stopped organic farming. They closed the farm down. And then last year, so then I had moved to, I had a girlfriend she's a woman, organic farmer, and she's freaking awesome. And I was going to her farm for her CSA, and she decided to not have a CSA last year. She was just selling at farmers markets, and she said she loved it. It was a hell of a lot less hassle, and she actually had a better year. So I don't know. I'm without a CSA. There is another one not too far from me, but I got to look into what they have. I don't know. I'm kind of bummed.
Right. Damn.
But CSAs are incredible. The other thing, so I don't know how it is in Australia, but here in the States, when you think of farmers market, like that should be healthy.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I have gone to many farmers markets here in Pennsylvania, and most of the produce is not organic. Most of the meat is not organic, and if it is organic, it's like grain fed. It's not pastured. But now, so there was a farmer's market not too far from me, and there was like 3 growers, and only one was organic. There's one in Phoenixville where we went for dinner when you guys were out here.
Right.
There's one in Phoenixville. There's one organic grower there, and there's quite a few growers. There's Malvern has a farmer's market, and there are several growers there. There's one organic, And I've talked to them, and it's not even that, oh, well, we're just not certified. Like they don't even try. They're not biodynamic. They're not, they're chemical growers. So you got to know, like people also think, so I live in Amish country, and people think, oh, an Amish farm. Like I've seen the Amish spreading Roundup with their horses.
Glyphosate, Monsanto's glyphosate, now Bayer's glyphosate.
Monsanto / Bayer glyphosate. So again, it comes down to know who you're buying your food from. And I did that, I started that 17 years ago, talking to people, because I learned from my friend, the organic farmer that now just sells at farmers markets, how it's so expensive, and there's a mountain of paperwork to be certified. So there are farms that aren't certified organic that you can still buy from, because you get to know what their practices are, and they have good practices. So I support them, because if you support them, then guess what? They have a better chance of being able to buy the organic, certification.
Right. Oh God.
It's ridiculous.
You can also have, as we learned from Peter yesterday too, there can be, even with organic, you can have organic pesticides.
Oh yeah, there's organic pesticides, and even so let's talk about organic packaged foods, because people eat them, And I teach, when I'm working with people, I always talk to them about good, better, best.
Right.
Okay, so this was mainstream. Let's go to good, because I'm not going to jump somebody that's eating all kinds of chemical, GMO crap food to the best,
In one
hit. So it's like, okay, let's go for good. Okay, now we're getting, now let's go for a little better, and here's best. And then when you're out somewhere, good, better, best. Like what, where, because the reality is your good is better than what you're doing over here. So just because something's organic in a box doesn't mean, like, the organic label is still the best way. You can be, not even totally sure, but pretty sure it's not GMO.
Right.
That it's not it doesn't have the glyphosate. It's, got minimal chemicals, but there are additives, like here in the States, a lot of the labeling it is a good subject, Diane.
Yeah.
A lot of the labeling has been watered down over the years with different bills that have been passed in our lovely, government.
Yeah.
They can use, there are chemicals they can use. Okay, so like let's look at natural flavoring. There's nothing fucking natural about it. It's chemicals.
Yeah, natural flavor. Natural flavor.
And it can be, so ascorbic acid. Let's look at ascorbic acid. Everybody's like, oh, well, it's vitamin C.
Vitamin C?
No. It's a genetically modified algae, like a mold algae. Yeah.
Another one that's beautifully confusing the market, thanks to marketing and industry and just pursuing the dollar.
Yeah.
Increase sales. The system's broken.
MSG, monosodium glutamate, that can be in
MSG.
Natural flavoring, MSG.
Yeah.
There's I think it's like 167 different chemicals that are natural flavoring. There's nothing natural about it. And it's, it has been it's now able to go, it's in organic foods,
This is all recreational pleasure eating. And I know we've talked about this before, but, because that's what industry is working on, is to make a pleasure, that short-term gratification thing, get those receptors in the brain switching on to become addictive, which is, it's really fucking sad, to be quite honest.
It is.
That we have come to this, and the system is broken where it can't regulate food properly. All right. And unfortunately we have humans in there that are, desperate for making a buck because of all the pressure there and what they are. And we're slowly killing each other because out of this comes chronic disease, which is going to give you that shorter life because 70% of us are dying.
We can't do anything about it because we need to keep the bottom line growing,
That's it.
And like Elisa's saying, yeah, it's true. They treat, they wash meats, factory meat with ammonia. They dip it in bleach. Lunch meat, they do that. They give it a bleach bath. We had the conversation when we were up in Montreal. Baby carrots. There's no such thing as a fucking baby carrot. Okay.
Isn't there?
Have you ever been on a farm and pulled a carrot out? A baby carrot's still going to look like a carrot. What those carrots are, those baby bags of baby carrots, even the organic ones, they're full-size carrots. They chop them and they like sand them so they're kind of like the same size and shape, and then they give them a bleach rinse.
Oh my Lord, they look so beautiful, little baby carrots.
And the funny thing, it was so funny, like I never liked them when they came out. I was like, I never liked them. I was like, and then when I learned what really, even the organic ones, what really was going on, I was like, no wonder I didn't like them. I could like it. Just, I was like, I don't think they're kind of gross to me.
And this started after the Second World War. Industry, we learned to mass produce because we were building machinery and stuff in factories, whatever, for fueling the war effort. And then we took it and used that to the dark side of just making money thereafter. And,
well,
the
you know what? I can remember when I was a kid, the white residue on the baby carrots. Yeah, that's the bleach.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, they have a tiny root at the bottom. I love the heirlooms, the purple ones. They're my favorite. Purple carrots. They're my favorites. I can remember when I was a kid, I can remember the advertisements with, chemical farming and how it was gonna bolster the food chain and this and that and the other thing. I can remember those commercials, and it's the future. Chemical farming is the future and all this bullshit,
Right.
Yeah, purple was original. Yeah. I love the purple carrots. That's what my girlfriend, the organic farmer.
There are purple carrots?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love purple. They're my favorite carrots. They're heirlooms. They're heirloom carrots.
Heirlooms. I didn't even know they existed.
Oh, they're my favorite. Carrots. Yeah, once they're in,
half a century.
That's all I have. They're my favorite. But so what happened is after the Industrial Revolution, it was like, let's manufacture food because man knows better. Man knows better than nature. Man knows better than nature.
Yeah, sure. So here we are leading shorter lives, and where there's reports coming out now, I think in the US, stating that our kids are going to be leading a shorter life. on average, according to the epidermal study, epidemiological study.
Matt's saying he thinks the purple carrots. Matt says he thinks purple originated in the Middle East.
I think originated in the Middle East. Nice.
That would make sense.
Right.
But
yeah, no,
kids
kids are going to lead shorter lives.
Kids here are so unhealthy.
Insane.
Oh,
that is insane.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? And why?
Kids with, so many kids have type 2 diabetes. It used to be called adult onset diabetes.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, it is really sad, and those things need to be hollered from the rooftops that this is happening. This is real. The problem is, from a mindset point of view, it's like that short-term gratification versus that
well,
a little bit of doing the right stuff every day, a little bit of doing the wrong stuff every day for short-term gratification.
Parents' responsibility.
Kill you
Bam. Matt just hit the nail on the head. But here's the problem: the parents don't get it. The parents don't get it, and the other thing is, I don't have time, or I don't want to cook, or I don't know how to cook. I can't tell you, like. I've had quite a few clients that they don't know how to cook. I did cooking classes for 1.5 years at a yoga studio.
Right.
And I remember I think it was like the second or third class. I did it once a month. And I was making sweet potato chili. And I'm up there and I'm cutting the sweet potatoes. And one of the women, and she must have been in her 60s, she's like, well, how do you cut that? How are you cutting that sweet potato? And I'm like, huh? Like, really? So then I was like, so I demonstrated. And I was like, do you want to come up and cut it? Yeah. So she comes up and she cuts some. And then one of the other ladies said, can I have a turn? And I was like, okay. And it was like, and from then on, the cooking classes, I just demonstrating how to make the recipe and then we ate it. Yep. I was teaching them how to cut, how to prep, how to do this, how to do that. And I was like, wow, people really don't know. I had one client, she had a kid. It was her and her kid. And first couple sessions, it was kind of like, oh, yeah. And they ate out all the time, right?
Right.
And then I gave her a beautiful head of kale from my girlfriend's organic farm.
Right.
And I explained to her why she wanted to add green leafy vegetables, why kale would be a good choice to start with. And I gave her a couple of recipes and I said, so what one do you want to start with? And she's like, oh, this sounds good. And then she goes, I have to go buy some pots and utensils. She had no fucking pots or utensils. She had a 7-year-old son.
Oh my God.
I was like, you seriously eat out all the time? Yeah. She didn't even have a coffee pot. She would go to there's like a little coffee shop thing down the street from her.
Oh shit.
I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Since we've come off the farm, this is what we've come to, right? And,
and people think like these packages of food. So I was at the shore I was on my Long Beach Island this past week, Thursday through Sunday. And in the refrigerator, this is what my niece feeds her son. Right. There are packaged peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that are kept in the freezer. The ingredient list was this long.
With a bunch of sugar and whatever else.
Oh, and chemicals and and it's like, okay, this is not even food,
It's sad. It really is sad. We're seeing it because now our kids are going to lead shorter lives, according to some of those studies. We are leading shorter lives,
Yeah.
And this has all happened in the last, since
in the past
100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Past 60, 70 years. Yeah.
We've done this to ourselves, and like how many millions of years, thousands of years, whatever, prior, more than Paleolithic
People would kind of go, and then just drop dead. And they didn't have a chronic chronic
seeing it.
disease.
I'm seeing it not only, other issues outside of food, but with, mental stress and anxiety forced in the corporate world, but you push so hard there that you're also eating crap,
Yeah.
but where we have, like you're saying, this lady here, in this lower socioeconomic segment, you've got the fast foods, McDonald's and whatever, that are subsidized by the government.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That are also are spending money on health because of other policies they've got.
Yeah.
And health,
well,
like,
chemical farmers and GMO farmers are subsidized by our government to not grow. And then that's how things are so cheap. And we talked about before that if it wasn't subsidized, it would be a lot more expensive than organic because of the cost for the seed and the glyphosate and all the other crap that they have to do.
It's not artificially reduced. Subsidies, corn and whatnot, right?
Yeah. So you've got these chemicals being put in that they destroy health. The body doesn't know what to do with it. Think about this, okay?
Yeah.
So I had to buy a new car because my car was deemed unsafe.
Yay. Oh, not so yay. Right, okay.
Yeah. I didn't want to spend money on a car.
You got a new car now. Okay.
I have a new car, yeah. But so my old car needed the lower test gas, which is great. Yeah. This car needs the high test gas. So guess what happens? If I put the low test in there, it's not going to run right. Okay? What if I put diesel in there? It's going to seize up and it's not going to run at all. Our bodies are the same, except our bodies are living vessels that their whole goal is to maintain homeostasis, to keep us functioning as well as can be.
Right.
Okay? So it does that by doing whatever it needs to do. So it may, say you're eating something that's a bunch of sugar, there's no nutrition in it because it's been stripped by the companies, and then they put chemical
empty calories.
They enrich it, the chemical
poisonous calories enriched.
Yeah. They take all the nutrients out and then try and replace it with synthetic, man-made nutrients, right?
Right.
So what happens is the body doesn't know what to do with it. So a lot of times it's called demineralization. It takes a little bit, the minerals and vitamins from the bones, from the stores that your body has because it needs something to process.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
So we got this going on. You wouldn't do that to your vehicle because it would stop running, but you're doing this to the vehicle that is you and not even giving it a second thought. And if I say something to you that I'm fucking crazy, I've been told that so many times, you're fucking crazy, oh, that's ridiculous. Well, everybody eats this. I'm like, okay, if everybody's eating it, that's probably means you shouldn't be,
Right? Yeah, the norm has moved. Oh, we're all normal. We've moved over to here where we're leading shorter, lower quality lives, and now our kids are going to lead shorter lives. I mean, that's fucked up. So if our great grandparents or great great grandparents were to go into a food store, they'd be like, what the hell?
Where's the food?
Where's the food? Where's the food?
They'd be like, what is this?
Jesus, right. So, look, so we understand, there is a huge problem out there. Mm-hmm. In the second part of this episode, we want to sort of move it to the positive side around what can we do?
What can we do?
Well, voting with our feet is a part of it. So what can we do? Some low-hanging fruit, so to speak, that we can grab for people that want to start to implement some change because they understand and they've learned that all this shit that's in the industrialized food that's been made so easy and it's been subsidized by the government as well.
Right.
Especially let's consider the lower socioeconomic part here as well. Mm-hmm. What can they do? The top
what can they do?
That's going to give them the low-hanging fruit to make change.
Yeah. So, first of all, and this is a mindset thing. Realize that it takes time to acquire taste for things that are new to you.
Right.
Okay. Also realize that
when you're made addictive to the other stuff.
Once you get that processed food, those chemicals out, especially because they're so loaded with sugars, you actually, your body starts getting nutrients and it starts wanting healthier choices. It starts wanting healthier foods. Okay. So, but it's a process. Okay. So I think one of the first things to do is, and again, I don't even worry about this with clients that are really just like they've been eating a standard American diet, you know, processed and boxed and packaged. Let's move from, okay, instead of getting your mainstream stuff, let's go to at least an organic version.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Let's start getting some fresh vegetables and fruits in. Yep. Okay. And I don't care if you start with like an apple, a banana, or, you know, orange, like start getting that in on a daily basis, you know, start getting, it doesn't have to be some of the, you know, fancier vegetables. Start getting, you know, romaine lettuce, carrots, like whatever, you know, start getting these into your diet on a daily basis. Instead of some of these other packaged foods. And even if it's like once or twice a day, what happens is the body starts getting, I call it crowding out, you know, because you start, so put these in first before anything else. So then you have, you know, you have nutrition going in, you have less of these chemical things going in. Because it's gonna, you end up with an effect. You know, anything you put in the body gives you an effect. So it's going to change the effect. And then the other thing is, you know, if you're eating meats and stuff like that, look for, if you're not ready for good, better, best is pastured. Right. At least go organic, because it's not going to have the pesticides and the GMOs and all that stuff. Yeah, in most cases. Forward. It's a lot less. But it's a lot less than, you know, if you're going conventional.
And then people need to understand as well that organic, as Peter said yesterday, can mean different things in different countries as well, depending on legislation. So how they interpret organic. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, well,
that's a great step. So even though if it's industrialized food or it's on the, at least getting something that's labeled organic is probably going to be a good step forward to moving to good.
Yeah, good, better, Okay. And like Elisa says, you know, one of the ways that this works is when you start adding these better choices, it changes the microbiome. And our microbiome wants real food. It doesn't want the chemicals, you know? Like there are things, when I first, you know, 18 years ago made the changes of what I ate and how I shopped and all that. And there were some things, it was just like, I don't think I'll ever be able to give that up, you know, like, and it got to a point where it was like, oh, I can't even eat. Like, I used to love that. I don't even know how, because the thought of putting it in my mouth, I get a physical, like, oh, no. Right. You know? So, yeah, it changes the microbiome. And when the microbiome gets healthier, then the things you want become healthier. And I shared this with you before. I had a client who never had green leafy vegetables or anything, and she got into, like, she was loving kale and mixed greens and this and that, and she went on vacation with some family members, and they all had a house, and she's like, you know, they do most of the cooking, and she's like, okay, at the end of the week I was craving kale. She's like, what the hell was I doing craving kale? And I was just like laughing, like,
the little microbiomes were all starting to multiply.
Yeah, your gut's saying, like, I like that stuff, you know? Yeah.
Right? So it's funny. Your body gets used to the other crap because of the homeostasis thing. It's like making the best out of a shitty situation.
Yep.
And then you start to get the real fuel in there, and the clean and the nutrient-rich stuff. Goes through a bit of a shock, and probably because you've got some bad germs going on in your stomach, they start to die off. They cause cravings because they're connected through the vagus nerve up to the brain.
Yep.
That's instead of detox, go through that sort of detox rehab for a day or two. And then you start switching up the gears into the new way forward. You sort of do this, come off, and then whoop, then we're up. Off we go.
Yeah. And then you're able, then you're able, that's when you're able to start learning to listen to your body.
Right.
And that doesn't come from these fads like, oh, eat this way, eat that way, take these shakes, take these, exogenous ketones, take this fiber, take this. And it's start getting the body functioning the way it's supposed to with real food, and you'll be able to start listening and learn what works for you and what doesn't. And that's the true key, because then you're in control.
Yeah, you gotta be careful that reductionist type approach on specific things that you can take. You got to know what you're doing, number one. Number two, that's never going to be and shouldn't have to be forever, because only for a corrective measure, if you've done so much damage somewhere, that you'll pump it right up to get that engine going again, get it back to where it needs to be, and then maintain proper with nutrient-rich food, because a lot of our soils are screwed too, right? So even the organic stuff we're getting might not have as much nutrients as it used to.
It doesn't have as much as it used to. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So like there are times when maybe something's specific for a little while. Like even like I have a gut heal program. And that, that's restrictive. That's restrictive for a little while.
Right.
And anybody who knows me knows, like, I'm not about restriction. I'm about let's get rid of restriction. But why? Well, to heal the gut, there are things that need to be eliminated because they're known irritants. They're not conducive to healthy gut. And then we got to find out what's working and what's not. And a lot of times with people, there are other things that have to be eliminated. And here's the beauty of it, though. You do this, and it may be 3 months, it may be 6 months, it may be longer, but you heal the gut and you start learning to listen to the body. A lot of times, some of the things that you were sensitive to or had allergies to, you're able to add back in at some point.
Right.
Because the gut is healed.
Right. Okay.
So and again, it's an individual thing, and it's subject to change because our bodies are always in flux. Like nothing is dynamic. Nothing is, this is the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah, you're looking at because next week Peter Rouse will be back in the house on my Tuesday, your Monday evening. And we're going to be talking about epigenetics.
I like epigenetics. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's gene expression.
Well,
and different environment.
So many people are like, oh, well, it's in my genes. It's been proven. It's 10%. It's like 90% is the environment. It's what you do. It's what you eat. It's how's your mindset? Where's your stress? Where do you live? What other things are you exposed to? Does your body know how to detoxify? If you have the MTHFR, which I do have a variation, so it's hard for my body to detox. Right. So learning. Yeah. And Franco says self-gardening self-gardening if you can, and it needs to be organic, like no Miracle Grow and all this shit. But here, let me show you. Hold on 1 second. I'll show you. The catalog just came.
Okay, cool. While you're doing that, I'm going to quickly grab my watch.
So if you're gonna be doing, what did he run away?
Yeah, I'm still here. You can't see me.
I can't see you.
The actually Bluetooth. I'm back. Okay.
If he's gonna be,
water.
If you're gonna
get my water, because water's very important, right?
Yeah.
Take a sec. Okay.
So if you're gonna be doing your own gardening, this is an incredibly awesome company that you can buy. It's called Gardens Alive, and it's got you got certain pests out there, and it's very informative. And if you have questions, like you can call them as to like, okay, well, what's going to work best. But like for different things, like say you got like powdery mildew, there's a copper spray you can get. Right, and the thing is, you can spray and then harvest that day if you want to.
Right.
you're having problems with your lawn, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do that's organic, you know. There are nematodes that you can get and put down in your lawn so if you're having like brown spots, that's some, I forget, it's some kind of pest underneath, you know, at the roots. There's like these nematodes that you can get, and you put that down, and it's not dangerous, and it's not, you know. So Gardens Alive is something you want to, you know, definitely want to get.
Right. Gardens Alive. And I think also for, you know, if it's still tough for you to, maybe a bit of a traveler as well, but, and there are other options available, because of course I deal with, you know, busy execs, and they're traveling a lot of the time. They've got a lot of commitments on them from their organizations and whatever. And like, how do you keep them healthy? And the way that I learned when I was in the executive life was a couple of ways. I mean, unfortunately, I have here a company, FitFuel Plus, giving them a plug, who delivered to me, according to my pH 360, my personal health 360 epigenetic definition of meals. They actually have meals that you can order meals you can choose from, which are excellent for me and my phenotype.
Right.
And
well, and you can do that.
Mentioned.
There are companies, there are organic companies like that. Like there's Blue Apron. There's a whole bunch of them now.
Apron.
Like
there's,
you go in and
Thrive.
and you order what you want for the week, and they deliver it, and they have the recipes, and it's all, and then you just put it together.
It's all prepped. It's all prepped, right?
Yeah.
It's all prepped.
You know, and
so
also,
that's a good midway.
Yeah. And if you're traveling, another way that you can do, like, I have learned, hey, Joni, how are you? You've been on my mind, honey. You know, if you're traveling, I've learned, like, you can talk to your server, because they're more than willing to work with you in most cases and pull things together, you know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I find
way more. They're more than willing. You know, it's
But they're all about the movement too.
Yeah, and there's more and more. You know, farm to table restaurants, like I tend to look for them, or organic restaurants, or ones that have a lot of vegetarian options, because then I have a lot more control. You know, there's this one place in Phoenixville, they do this breakfast bowl, and it's potatoes. It's typically potatoes and eggs. So what I have them do is potatoes, black beans, and peppers, and seasoning, and avocado. And it's so good. Oh, it's so good. And I put a little salsa in there too. So good.
Okay. Well,
so good.
Sweet. So, I mean, look, so you've got these other services. You've got Thrive. You've got 22 days nutrition for the vegans that are out there, the plant-based people.
There are so many. In my computer somewhere, I have a list of companies that you can call and you can order, you know. And the other thing is, like, I have had executives that I've worked with, and I teach them batch cooking. You know, so you take a couple hours on Sunday and you do prep for certain things. Like maybe you soak some beans, you soak some grains or quinoa or something, you cook it up, you put it in glass containers in the refrigerator. Then you have them. That's a great base. You know, if you're going to have some meats, you can cook up some meats, have them ready, put them in the refrigerator, make some soup, freeze half of it.
Right.
You know, and I do, like, when I'm cooking, a lot of times this is what I do. Like I'll make a couple different things at one time, you know. And then even like, okay, it's best to cut your vegetables fresh, because once you cut them, they start losing nutrients, but you can cut, you know, and store them. And if you use them in 2 to 3 days, they still have a lot more nutrients than not having them, you know.
And it's cleaner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and again, I don't have the time. That's a priority. And then, you know, you got to make the time. And then you've got that during the week, and you can take stuff for lunch. You can make things ahead of time and I have a bunch of glass containers and I just freeze everything and then you pull it out. I don't even thaw stuff a lot of times. I just put it in the oven and heat it up. But you can thaw it and cook it up. You know, like it's really a matter of prioritizing and what's important to you.
Right. So once again, I mean, it is a priority, and the thing is, it doesn't have an immediate effect, but it will kill you slowly if you're doing it wrong. You're eating all this shit that's being produced by industry, unless it's, you know, perhaps labeled as organic, which in most cases is certainly better.
Most cases it's the best. It's the best way. It's the best
way to take that first step. Yeah. And then you can get, you know, from good to better. It'll be starting to tune it specifically to you. You do it by an elimination way. I do it using a bit more science and epigenetics. You know, I mean, with pH 360, you can just measure yourself online and it works out your phenotype and then your specific exercises and your specific foods. Beautiful menu list. I send it off to a guy here, FitFuel Plus, who's doing it for me at the moment as we're piloting this, where I write, and it's for half the price it would cost for Uber. And I've got clean food specific to my genotype, right? That's going close to best, right? But yeah, in the US, you've got Thrive, you've got
Blue Apron.
Nutrition,
there's
got Blue Apron for prepped meals. You've got another one called,
I have a list somewhere.
There's a new funky cool one. Oh, damn. And it is also a genetically specific to you type of service around food. I think they do the gene test on you, and then they can start to ship the food too. It's not called Herb, it's called Habit.com.
Okay.
There's another one to check out, which is really cool, brand new.
Yeah, so bottom line is there's a lot of options out there. So again, it comes down to priorities. What are you willing to do? What, you know, how serious are you?
There's easy ways, is what I'm saying, is there are options. People don't know this to start to switch over. But like you said, getting involved in the process. If you're not prepped, you can get it prepped from like Blue Apron, for example. Or even the best is really growing it out in your backyard. And you know where it's come from.
Second best is get to know your local farmers and find the organic ones or the ones that have good practices, and maybe they're not certified.
Right, and then water. I mean, it's part of eating, so I'm going to put that in your camp. The 2 to 3 liters a day.
Oh drink. You want to drink throughout the day, and you want it to be clean water, spring water, not tap water.
Right, or
and not in
plastic. Peter
and not
distills
in plastic. Not in plastic bottles.
Right, the
not
BPA
plastic.
thing.
Yeah.
And
okay,
more and more.
here's the reality. BPA free. Well, here's the problem. BPA free. They've replaced BPA with BPS. That's actually worse than BPA. No plastic, stainless steel.
So this could be BPS.
It
possibly
98% probably is.
Ah, shit! Right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stainless steel
over there.
Stainless steel, glass.
Steel. Right, glass, mason jars,
ceramic, whatever. But ceramic, you want to make sure it's not from China because the,
Okay.
Yeah, chemical.
So I'm drinking enough water. It's just that I might still have it in the wrong vessel.
No, you don't want.
All right, awesome. Here I am.
You don't want.
Well, see, it's part of the education. A lot of people don't know.
Hydro Flask.
They don't know this stuff.
Hydro Flask makes a real big one. Some real big ones. Like this is.
Who's this? Hydro Flask.
Hydro Flask. It's stainless steel, and it has a lid. And they have I got my son. He's got a landscaping business. I got him 2 half-gallon Hydro Flasks.
Oh, they make it in a half-gallon.
Oh yeah.
I'll get one of those.
Yeah, they have one in between.
I think Canteen are good, aren't they? Kanteen.
Probably. Look at make sure, stainless steel. I have some glass ones. Glass ones.
Okay.
But yeah, Hydro Flask is good. Swell Bottles are good too. They keep it, my Hydro Flask keeps it cold even in the heat too.
Yeah, insulated. Right. Okay, there's one. So, all right. So look, basically wrapping this up so we can land this one. It's organic as a first step. you've heard about all these other services that you can actually order online if you're a busy exec. I'm gonna say also, even though I still use Isogenics, is still the best one I know out there. For the exec, instead of eating crap, the stuff they don't know they're eating, at least they get a balanced meal. If they're in between meetings and stuff, you can put some healthier, nutrient-rich, cleaner stuff. Whey, I'm not a big one for whey because I'm not dairy.
I don't like whey either.
Yeah.
There's the
Plant-based,
best protein
pea
powder that I
the big one they
found.
use.
The best protein powder that I found, it's called Vivo Life. You can only get it online.
Vivo Life.
Vivo Life. It's organic. It's cold processed. It's fermented. It's got your BCAAs. It's got your enzymes, and it's all plant-based. And plant intelligence is incredible. And it's clean. It's clean.
Wow, how's it packaged? Is this one big, like 500 gram or a liter, or they do the small sachets? What I like about Isogenics is they package well.
I'm going to show you.
The travelers.
Well, what I do, if I'm traveling, I just put it in a container and take it with me.
I'll take it with you. Okay, I mean, you can do that too, right?
Mm-hmm. I put a pot of soup over there for you.
And what, you just mix it with water?
You can do it with water. Here, it comes like this.
Vivo, V-Y-V-O or V-I-V-O?
It's V-I-V-O.
V-O, life. You're the sport version. Look at that.
And BCAAs.
Plant protein and BCAA. Is it pea or what are they using? It looks like pea.
Yeah, and it tastes really good. It's raw plant protein complex. It's bio-fermented yellow pea protein, cold-pressed hemp protein, plant-based BCAAs complex 211, leucine, isoleucine, and valine, reishi mushroom, fruiting body powder, polysaccharides, turmeric extracts, ginger extract, papain, peppermint leaf, fennel seed.
Okay. What if you're not good on pea? Any other options? I mean, hemp is another option, I guess.
Hemp's a good option.
Okay. I use some Australian organic hemp in my smoothies, but it comes in the big packet like that as well.
Yeah, well, that's all. Hemp is good. I do a lot of times. I do a mix.
That's got a whole lot of good stuff in it.
Because I don't always use the protein powder. A lot of times, what I'll do is, hemp and different. I'll have different nuts and stuff.
For fiber and some extra stuff.
And I'll just take them with me. you know.
Yeah, nuts are easier to take all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for fiber is what you're going to be careful of with some of these protein powders, that you're getting enough insoluble fiber as well.
Yeah. Well,
the
that's
other
where
thing
have
I was
your
going
fruit
to
and
mention,
vegetables.
right, the other one is grains, before we finish off.
Yeah.
Now, I'm taking grains out, right? I've gone the next level now, and even quinoa, as nice as it is, kind of inconclusive, but it is a grain in the definition.
It's a seed. It's a seed. Quinoa is not a grain. Quinoa is a seed.
Why do they include it in grains?
It's not a grain.
Google?
It's a seed. Quinoa is a seed.
Damn good.
Yeah. I don't eat greens. They don't really do well. I don't do well with them. I do okay with quinoa. Quinoa is a seed.
Quinoa, right.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. I was disappointed about that one.
Yeah, awesome. No. Quinoa is fine. It's a seed. It's not a grain.
Right. Jeez.
No, that's not. There are some people that it's inflammatory for them. That's why,
right.
Testing yourself with it.
Personalized
seeing
health.
how, see how you respond to it. But,
right.
I do know some people that it bothers them, but most people are okay with it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so
but
grains are out.
Grains are really hard to digest. Grains can be. A cow. Yeah, they can just be really rough and not the best things. So.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So and they've been GMO'd and refined.
Yeah.
And
Well,
there's not everything, all the good stuff been taken
not
off
a lot of
time,
them.
No?
Not a lot of them they're not genetically modified. The problem is that they are sprayed. If they're not organic, they're sprayed with glyphosate because it's a desiccant. It makes it dry faster. So even though they're not genetically modified, they still have glyphosate, And how does glyphosate work? Glyphosate works by it blocks nutritional absorption. in the plants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So
the shikimau pathway gets shut down.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. So what's it doing? I mean, it's doing to us too.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, it is. We can't.
Like Franco said, good rice replacement, cauliflower rice.
Oh, cauliflower rice is fantastic.
Yep.
That's and it's a great substitute. You wouldn't know half the time. Yeah, cauliflower in different forms is awesome.
Yeah, I had on Saturday night. I met a friend of mine down the shore for dinner, and I had buffalo cauliflower. So it's like chicken wings, only it was cauliflower.
Beautiful.
It had the celery in it, and it was delicious.
Cauliflower. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, and for cardio issues as well, getting off the grains, that'll lower your calcium scores for those that have a calcium issue. Not that calcium is necessarily
grains can be
marker,
grains,
but it is at the moment. Going to be.
Yeah. So
get off the grains. Dr. William Davis, apparently. So if you look up him on Google, he a cardiologist, and he's got rid of grains and reduced people's calcium scores significantly, just in getting rid of grains. So all right, guys. So if you want to learn more about how our Foody and Murphy can help you out, that lady there, they PM you? And
give me a private message. Give me a private message.
Private message. Right. And if you're looking to go to, in a different approach, more scientific, and using some digital health stuff to monitor you and get you changed over, a certain period of time, especially if you're an exec, you can PM this guy that's talking right now, and we can do it from an epigenetic way as well, because everybody's not the same. One size does not fit all.
Exactly.
But remember what, Anne?
Wait, you're breaking up.
Remember to enjoy life.
Oh, enjoy life, yes.
Right here, right now.
Today. Now. Yep.
Be present, yeah.
Yep, because it's the only time you have right now.
Yeah, dude, it's what's happening right now. Get out of your head. Get out of your head. All right. As I keep reminding myself. So, we'll catch you on the next one.
Okay.
Thanks again, Anne.
See you later. Thanks.
All right, bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.